going on, crew? Alrighty. I would just before we hop into week 13 stats and more, I would just like to apologize. I know normally these episodes come out every Tuesday. I was actually really busy yesterday with homework. And I was literally just trying to grind and get to 50 subs before this video come out. And on that note, thank you guys so much for 50 subscribers. We just got there freaking 3 hours ago. As soon as this video comes out, we will be at 50 subscribers or more. But that's just, I'm super grateful. We're halfway to 100, which is crazy. And obviously my goal is 100 by Christmas. So if we can get that, that would be crazy. But I am really hyped and I'm really excited to get into week 13 stats and more. So without further ado, let's get right into the Thanksgiving games. I hope all you guys had an absolutely amazing Thanksgiving. All 50 of you awesome people. Pulling out the notes. So we're going to start with the Thanksgiving games and then go all the way down. Obviously, if you guys want a more deeper and more explained, we'll get there in a second. But let's start with the Thanksgiving game. Let's start with the Thanksgiving games. Starting off with the Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions. The Lions get the win by 3 points, and I have a little bit to talk about this game. But the Lions get the win 23-20, almost lost to the Bears. But Caleb Williams, great game. He had 256 yards, 2 TDs, no picks, with Goff having 221 yards and 2 TDs. Caleb actually outplaying him as well. And also, a main factor of this game is, which a lot of people are going to talk about, is the fact that head coach Matt Eberflus, former head coach, because he was fired after the game for not calling the timeout. And actually, there was a few news stories saying that he was complaining that he knew they had the timeout and he didn't take it on purpose because he thought they were going to lose the game or whatever. But, either way, poor clock management and everything like that. So, he was fired after the game. And I'm not going to say for good reason, but for good reason. Because, honestly, you got to call that timeout, man. I mean, you could have kicked the field goal and at least gone into OT. But, poor coaching there. But Lions do get the win. Bears play the Niners this weekend. That'd be crazy if they get the win. I have a little bit to talk about the Niners later on. So we got next up, we got the Cowboys and the Giants. The Cowboys get the win in Drew Lock's start, 27-20. But Cowboys do get the win. Cooper Rush, who's actually consistently playing not too bad. He had 195 yards, a TD, no picks. Rico Dowdle with his best game of all time, 112 yards and a touchdown. And Micah Parsons with 2 sacks on the day. Cowboys ultimately getting the win by 7. Drew Lock, not a bad game, honestly, on the ground and in the passing game. Honestly, we saw him running a lot. He was like White Lamar out there. It was pretty crazy. But Cowboys do get the must-needed win. Giants are officially eliminated from the playoffs and are the first NFC team to be eliminated from the playoffs. Sucks, but we'll see it. They're obviously on the rebuild. See if we can see them next year. Dolphins, Packers. Packers get the win 30-17. And you know what I'm going to say about this one. If you know, you know. Go check out the live stream between the Packers and the Dolphins that I did. It was awesome. Packers ultimately got the win. But, if you want to know everything and even watch the stats of the game, go check out that live stream. And same with the Raiders and Chiefs. Chiefs get the win 19-17. I actually had the Raiders upsetting the Chiefs, and they almost did if it weren't for the fumble. All right, here I actually had some controversy before you got but wait, before you go check out those live streams, but for the Chiefs, Raiders, and the Packers, Dolphins, stick around to the end of this video because we got a lot of stats to go through. But for the Chiefs Raiders game, there was a bunch of controversy between the fact that the final play, they threw the flag before the fumble occurred, which theoretically should stop the play, right? Wrong. Apparently, they gave the ball to the Chiefs. The Chiefs won the game. There was a couple PI calls that just weren't called throughout the game. So ultimately, the Kansas City refs and Taylor Swift won again before getting upset. They could have been upset 2 weeks in a row, which from the Panthers first and then the Raiders second. But yeah, they're still 11-1 and they clinched the playoffs. Raiders are also eliminated from the playoffs. And then go check out the live streams after this video is over. Let's get into the 10 o'clock games. And if you want to know like more stats about the 10 o'clock games, just like anything like more in depth on the 10 o'clock games, I want you to go check out my series 10 o'clock football on Sunday, which comes out on 10 o'clock. Well, not exactly on 10 o'clock on Sunday because that's when the games happen, but after all the 10 o'clock games are over, you can go watch those, and those are really fun, going into depth, and they're much quicker videos. Moving on, Texans, Jaguars. Texans get the win by 3. Obviously, Mac Jones had a sub in for Trevor Lawrence. Prayers to him. He got hit hard by Al-Shire. I'll talk about that in a minute. But Mac Jones actually outplays C.J. Stroud by a couple of yards. He had less interceptions than C.J. But yeah, C.J.'s main target, Nico Collins, 119 yards. Big game for him. And as of today, the news came out today that Al-Shire, who laid the big hit on Trevor Lawrence, is now suspended for 3 games. So, yeah, but yeah, prayers to Trevor Lawrence. Hope he recovers. But yeah, Mac Jones definitely stepped up and made this game a lot more closer because the only thing that Trevor Lawrence threw was a pick. So no touchdowns for him. So, moving on. We got the Colts and the Patriots, a 1-point difference. I didn't have much to talk about this game despite it being a super, super close game, but Drake May, another actually pretty good game. He's actually had a decent, like really good game, especially after they put him in over. I genuinely forgot who was in for Drake May, but I believe. Hold on. I need to look this up. But Jacoby Brissett. Okay. I was blanking on the name there, but yeah, after him, they started him over Jacoby Brissett. He's been playing really, really good, honestly. In this game in particular, he had 238 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Anthony Richardson, honestly, man, Joe Flacco was playing way better than him. I'm just being totally honest here. But he had another 2-pick game. I mean, despite they won by 1 point over the Patriots. So, I don't know. I would start Joe Flacco over him. I think Joe Flacco really played better, which was, I mean, the fact that they played him for 2 games, he won 1, so they kept him again, and he lost when they just tossed him out and bring back in Anthony Richardson. I don't know, man, but I mean, I guess they got the win nonetheless. So we're gonna move on to another 10 o'clock game, another close one between the Chargers and the Falcons. And Chargers get the win 17-13. I would like to talk about Kirk Cousins. and he threw 4 picks, no touchdowns. Probably his worst game ever. Like, have you ever seen? When was the last time that you saw Kirk the GOAT Cousins throw more than 2 picks? Like, literally never. Honestly, neither QB really did play good in this game. Who did play good was the Chargers defense. Tarheeb still had 2 picks, 1 pick six, which ultimately did give the win for the Chargers. I think the Chargers can make the playoffs. I think they're actually a pretty capable team, and I think they will make the playoffs in the end. And I hope to see them there. It's always fun to watch the Chargers in the playoffs. Bijan Robinson, he did carry over 100 yards and a touchdown, so good game for him on the Falcons side of the football. But that almost wraps it up for the 10 o'clock games. We do got a couple more, starting off with the Seahawks and the Jets, which was decided by 5 points, which is crazy because the Jets had a 14-point lead going in the half, and the Seahawks ultimately brought that back by a lot. But Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's a rising star on the Seahawks, young star, 74 yards in this game. Actually, one of his worst games, honestly, but it's all good. Jets shut out in the fourth quarter. They just couldn't score. They didn't score a single point. I've talked about this every single episode, is where Aaron Rodgers probably retire after the season. I mean, he's tired of playing on these Jets. I mean, I know he got Davante Adams. I'm blanking on names, but yeah, despite getting Davante Adams, I know Davante Adams did lead in receiving for the Jets in this game, but, it's tough to lose a lot, especially where you think you're going to win going in the half. Just come out and blow it. But the play of the game, though, was A.J. Barner with a 92-yard pick six as a defensive lineman. Like, that was sick to watch. I was watching the highlights of this game, and I saw that, and that was really, really cool. It's always cool to see big guys get a TD. Right, so moving on, I believe we have a couple more 10 o'clock games, I think. But yeah, Titans-Commanders was another 10 o'clock game. Commanders destroyed the Titans 42-19. Sorry, I'm a little tired. It is like almost past 9. It is 9:07. Okay. So, Jaden Daniels had a good game, like always. Young rookie. I'm surprised the NFL came out, and he's like 6th or 7th as best rookies this year. I think he's 5th, maybe 5th, 6th, or 7th. Look that up for me. Let me know in the comments down below. But Will Levis actually played pretty good. He actually outplayed Jaden Daniels. He had 212 yards, 2 TDs, and he's 18 for 37, which is pretty much a 50% passing rating. And it's for the Titans point of view here, going into halftime 28-0. It's pretty hard to come back from the deficit, so it's all good. Titans got to rebuild, especially after losing King Henry, who actually did not play good against the Eagles. We'll talk about that in a couple games. Next up, Steelers, Bengals at 1 o'clock. All right, now we're into our 1 o'clock game. So, Steelers get the win, 44-38. Actually, really, really good game. Russell Wilson over 400 game. He had 414 yards, 3 TDs. Great game. On the other side of the football, we had Jamar Chase with 86 yards and a TD. Obviously, Joe Burrow playing decent. One of the good plays from the defense. I actually would like to start talking about the defense more because in the prior episodes, I don't really talk about the defense that much. So I'm going to talk about them. We had a pick 6 by Cam Taylor-Britt. So that was pretty cool. And then obviously on the other side of the football, we had Peyton Wilson with a 21-yard fumble return for a TD. So cool. Both sides of the football had a points on the defense. But yeah, ultimately Steelers get the win by 6. So yeah, good game. Next up, Cardinals Vikings, the second game to be decided by 1 point in Week 13. So Vikings do get the win by 1 because Kyler Murray ultimately had 2 picks, while Sam Darnold had 235 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. Still, Trey McBride still leading the Cardinals in receiving, probably a top 5 tight end, top 4. But yeah, I think he's a really, really good young tight end. I'm surprised why the NFL, especially in Madden ratings, how he's so low. I believe he's an 86 in Madden ratings. I don't know, but I think he should be much higher, especially there. And then just on the leaderboard in general. Yeah, but Vikings do get the win by a point. Jay Jettas not having his greatest season. He still had a good season, not as good as prior years, but yeah, Vikings do get the win. They're 10-2. 2 of their losses, one to which was the Rams. The Rams, baby, who got a win this week. Whose house? Rams' house in the Saints building. Rams get the win, 21-14. What a game, dude! Oh my goodness, I was in a live stream over with Alex we just decided to hop into the game and watch the final minutes where the Saints actually drove down the field and we saw Jared Verse come around the edge and just knock the ball out of Derek Carr's hands and won the game for the Rams. Few things we learned about this game. Puka Nacua just loves diving catches, man. Every single game against the Patriots, we saw him like 3 times in this game just dive for the football, and it's super cool to see. High flyer. Matthew Stafford, 183 yards, 2 TDs. One of the very few games where we actually saw Matt Stafford get no picks. So that was awesome. Kyren Williams, no fumbles in this one, unlike the one against the Eagles. But he had over 100 yards, 104 yards, and a TD. Good game for Kyren over there, running the football. But the Saints, Alvin Kamara, 114 yards. I believe that he is actually the face of this Saints team. I think he is the best player. And yeah, the Saints are losing a lot of games, especially because Derek Carr, I don't think is their franchise QB. I believe their defense needs some work. But yeah, big win for the Rams. We're going on to play the Bills next week. Imagine we could get the upset. That would be crazy. And then after that, we play the Niners on Thursday Night Football. Me and Enzo Network will be streaming on this very channel, so come check that out on Thursday. Next up, we got Buccaneers, Panthers. Another nail-biter for the Panthers. They can't get it done and are also eliminated from the playoffs, sadly. But yeah, final in overtime. Buccaneers get the win, 26-23. Honestly, Bryce Young is finally getting into the role of things. I mean, he had almost 300 yards, 298 and a touchdown. I mean, honestly, dude, next year I'm excited to see this Panthers team come out and just get rolling because some of these games they should have won. Against the Buccaneers, they should have won. Against the Chiefs, they actually could have won. There's just some that they just blew. And obviously, Bryce Young getting benched earlier in the season. Couldn't find out. He couldn't really get in the role of things. But now he's finally getting into it. Hopefully, he is their franchise QB. But Bucky Irvin is in for the Buccaneers. He had 114 yards and a TD. And also, I would like to talk about, Baker Mayfield, good game, despite a pick, but he had a really good game. But yeah, I think the Panthers honestly have a pretty good receiving core. They got like Xavier Leggett. He's really good, solid receiver. Adam Thielen, obviously a veteran, and Tommy Tremble, young tight end. So honestly, I think they have a pretty good team. I think I'm excited to see the Panthers next year. Alrighty, so Ravens. Eagles get the win 24-19. Saquon running over the Ravens offense. Oh my goodness, okay. Running over the defense of the Ravens. He had 107, over 100-yard gain. Again, 107 yards in a TD. Dude, Saquon's a beast, man. He's a beast. If there was an award for best running back, I'd surrender it to him right now. He's having one of his best seasons. I'm happy that he's honestly having a good time with the Eagles. Lamar Jackson, 237 yards and a TD, pretty good. Jalen Hurts, actually not that loud in this game. He was pretty quiet on the offensive side of the football, but ultimately Eagles get the win. Bills, Niners fans, man. What is happening, man? But the Bills get the win 35-10. CMC is just, he's injured probably for the season. He's put on IR. Prayers to him, but it does suck to see him just fall over. He knows he can't play anymore. And honestly, Bills fans, bro, why are you throwing snowballs at him, man? Like, what kind of sportsmanship is that, bro? Like, come on, man. He's an injured player. What the heck? But yeah, ultimately, Bills get the win. Niners, the Rams will avenge you guys next week. Or this week, technically. But yeah, we will avenge you guys. Or we'll try. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but we will try. Josh Allen with 148 yards and a TD. Play of the game was probably the lateral from Amari Cooper to Josh Allen, who dives into the end zone, reaches for the pylon, and gets 6. That was a pretty cool play. Finally, Monday Night Football. I do want you guys to go check out the live stream for that one as well. Dang, we live streamed 3 of these. That's a lot. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I want all you guys to go check out the live stream right now between the Broncos and the Browns, which was that was on Monday, so that was like 2 days ago. But yeah, go check that out. Fun live stream. That was also on my channel as well. Broncos get the win 41-32. Yeah, I mean, Jameis Winston, 4 picks. I mean, ultimately, that's probably the reason they lost the game because, I mean, he had 2 pick sixes, too. You can't win a game that way. But ultimately, Jameis Winston had a pretty good game. Outplayed Bo Nix. If you go watch the live stream, you will see me and Enzo Network actually talk about how he outplayed Bo Nix. But yeah, Broncos get the win. I hope to see them in the playoffs because they haven't been there in a really, really long time. It will be cool to see them in the playoffs. So that's gonna wrap up. Week 13 stats and more. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you want to go check out just my podcast, if you don't want to watch the videos, if it's too boring, just watch it. You can just listen to it. You can go over to SoundCloud and look up Big Football Podcast. It's literally the same title as my YouTube channel. You can go listen to that wherever you are at. So, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you did, please consider clicking that subscribe button. As you can see down below on the thing on the bottom of my screen, on your screen technically. But yeah, I'm sorry, I gotta go hit the sack. But without further ado, guys, I am your host, Big Football Podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.